Peace, I'm Mallah-Divine Mallah. I'm the author of the Hidden Hand Rally itself, as well as Prison Survival, Hell's Prison. Today makes my 6 year home from being incarcerated. So I'm one of the system impacted people that understand that what's going on a little bit. So what I want to share is that you know everybody talks about recidivism, but they don't talk about the what level of access to information, resources, and opportunity that a system impacted person have. Even a person like myself, like have associate's degree and a bachelor's degree in technology. You know, I don't readily have the opportunities that should have come along with that. And and I look at this past year, 2020. It wasn't the best year for me financially, emotionally, personally, but I look at everything as a learning experience and moving forward. I lost a good friend of mine to suicide. He did around maybe 25 years, 26 the most. Was on the streets for just a little under 2 years, and it was the impact hit me a little different because I found out that he took his life the same day of my daughter's birthday. So it was a mixed feelings and emotions. But what I thought was, why the brother, did the brother have opportunity to reach out to other brothers that was in a situation to talk to? See, a lot of time there's no network for people that's formerly incarcerated or system impact when they come out here. Like you got the AA meetings, you got the drug anonymous meetings, you even got sex anonymous meetings. But there's no type of meetings or networks for brothers that was system impacted. That could be like, you know what, I understand, what you're going through. I understand what you might be feeling at this moment because I have experience going through the same thing. And it's a different level because a person that did 2 years in prison can't understand the mentality of a person that did 20 years in prison and what they engage in out here in the society. But the fact that there's really no network for brothers and sisters that are system impacted, they have to literally go with it at alone. And then, we throw in the mental health aspect because don't get it twisted. Nobody comes out of prison unscathed mentally or emotionally. So the level of which that has to be impacted and studied and understand, you know, it's no value in it. So people don't study it. People don't try to understand it. Even people that love you don't understand it. So where does that leave people that was formerly incarcerated or system impacted in today's time? Like people say, well, you could do this, you could do that, you can do this, but they're coming from a perspective that they really don't know because they're coming from a perspective of a person that never been impacted by the system. With that being said, we have to look at, what resources are really available. And I'm not talking about resources that, keep people in the lowest rung of society because, you know, a lot of brothers and sisters that come home, they are highly intelligent and they are highly dynamic. And society would have them be at the lowest rung in society from an economic standpoint, unless they want to be some type of poverty pimp and pimp people. But that's crazy. So where is the network for these people like myself? Where is the opportunities? Even when you go back to school, even when you do everything society say you're supposed to do, but it doesn't unfold like that. Like transitioning to back into society is not an easy transition because you thought a certain way. You use certain skills for however long you was in prison in order to survive. Now, to survive in society, they telling you every skill that you learn, your way of thinking, your way of moving, your way of talking is obsolete out here. And then they don't realize that it has to be a transitional period for you to understand that, especially when you start working in jobs that's not construction. See, when you work in construction field, you gonna be comfortable there because there's other brothers like you, so you can still talk how you was talking when you was on the yard. Nobody get offended. But when you start trying to transition into these more professional jobs, then it becomes an issue. Then it becomes a problem because you learn that there's certain words that you normally use you can't use, even though that these words is not offensive to you. These words is not offensive to your peers, but these words are offensive in those settings that you're trying to now move in. And people don't take a step back and look at, like, how does that affect a person opportunity that's trying to do right. These are things that nobody talk about because maybe they don't understand. And I'm gonna take it to the fact that they don't understand. So it's like it's incumbent on people that do understand, that's been impacted, that is trying to make it happen, so-called what they call a legit route, to share, their experiences. I know as men sometimes we feel like, we don't want to show vulnerability because we showing a sign of weakness, man. Nah, sometimes through that vulnerability, you learn your greatest lesson, man. Facts. And it's like, so it's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. You might not like it while you're going through it, but you're gonna learn a great lesson, man. And I don't know, man. We in a time we never been in before, man. Like, we in a time where for regular people, opportunities are scarce. So people that system impacted or formerly incarcerated, the opportunities are even scarcer. Then when you have children and things like that, you got wives, whatever, husbands, if you're a woman or if you gay, your partner, you look at things different because, bills still got to get paid. You still got to eat. You still got to shelter. You still got to go to and fro to try to make other opportunities happen. And so when the day we in right now with this corona, and that's a whole nother issue, man. But it's impacting everybody globally, but it impacts us a little bit more. So where is our networks to where we could be like, you know what? Well, this is how I'm feeling today. This is I just want to vent without looking like a sucker. Just want to vent. I just want to vent. That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna, get up and try to make something happen. I'm still gonna study. I'm still gonna try to find a way to do something. But for right now, I just want to vent. And those networks don't readily exist, and I think that that's where we have to look into it because nobody's going to create that unless we create it ourselves. Because really nobody really gives a F that you've been in prison and for how long. They don't really care about the mental trauma you've been through. They don't really care about the physical wars you've been in before prison, during prison. They don't really care about that stuff. So they don't really understand. And should they? I don't know. That's another topic. But I know, like, we coming up upon a critical voting season. It's critical. We got a dude that's a madman. And then and when I say that, if you ever get a moment on the History Channel, they talk about the rise of Hitler or the rise of Nazi Party. Just it's long, but it's worth watching. And when you see how Hitler came to power, and what he was about. You know what I mean? He was really about white nationalism and things like that. You can see that Trump might have read Hitler playbook, or he might not. He might just be of the same type of evil as Hitler was, and that's something to think about. See, it's like, yo, when you got a man that's a constant liar, and he's just a man that's in charge, everything else is gonna have a tumbling effect. It's gonna have a tumbling effect. Like, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden neither, or Kamala Harris, but it's like you gotta choose a double that you can stomach. And then as far as us that just got the, because I'm gonna vote this political season tomorrow on Jamaica Avenue in Queens in front of Social Security building. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. Organization is having a voter registration drive, and they invited me to come out to be one of the speakers to speak, and I'm grateful. So I will be there tomorrow. It's from 2 to 6. It's on Jamaica Avenue in Queens in front of Social Security building. All you gotta do is take the J train or the E train to the last stop, and as you get off, you're gonna see us. So, but register to vote too, and play a part in your local scene, because we are community stakeholders, So it's like we have to make people understand our story, because our story is a little bit different. Like, we different. Our needs are different. Our interests are different, because our journey in life is different. So, let us get out there and do the things that we can, man, and just keep pushing, man. Like, even when it's rough, even when you feel like everything is closing in around you, even when you feel like you're the most vulnerable, even when you feel like you made miscalculations and mistakes, man. Because I'm telling you, I made a whole lot of mistakes this year. I made a whole lot of miscalculations this year. That's just a fact. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to, unpack that, realize it, and then move forward, man. Because 2021 will be here in a few months, man. And but let us in the meantime, between time, find out ways. How can we support each other, share our stories with each other, big each other up, because nobody else is going to do it, man. And I just, that's what I wanted to share this morning. This is my 6th year home. I ain't going back to prison, because for one, they don't got no Wi-Fi in prison, so they ain't had it when I was there. So I ain't going back to no prison without no Wi-Fi. They don't serve no sushi. They don't got no women. So who the hell want to go back to prison? And they don't have no opportunity, But if you want to live like a caged animal, then prison for you. But if you want to be a free man, then you gotta take the lumps as well as the triumph that's gonna come your way. Peace, Mallah-Divine Mallah. Go check out my books, The Hidden Hand Duality Self, as well as Prison Survival, Hell's Prison. Go check out my website, mallahdivinemallah.com. Check me out on every social media that there is. I'm not on TikTok because I'm not a child. So with that being said, peace and enjoy your morning.